Right, you methods kids, you're just getting those two boards and I'll teach that to you after. So if you were here last Friday, you would have seen calculating compound interest year on year would take forever, especially because in real life, in the banks, they compound once a month. So how many months are there in a year? 12. And if you compounded for 5 years, compounding monthly, you'd have to do 60 bloody calculations. That's too much. So instead, we have quite a complicated formula, but that's why I'm going to do 4 examples to show you how to deal with it. So this formula here, let me read it out to you. FV equals PV times by, in brackets, 1, it's always 1, plus I divided by K, end the brackets, and then this, can you see it's in the top right? That's a power. So it's to the power of whatever K times by N is. What I'd like you to do, please, can you get that formula down, and then we will discuss what the letters mean. Because all you are doing when using a formula is you're plugging numbers into it. Aren't you supposed to be sitting at the front? Okay, there's free chairs here. So please contrast this. You don't need to write this down, but I'm going to contrast this with the simple interest formula. That's all that simple interest was. You were timesing 3 numbers together. All right? That's not this. You're powering, you're dividing, you're adding. All right, let me go through what those letters mean. FV in this formula tells you the final value of the investment. It tells you what your money grows up to. So please keep in mind that is the principal and the interest added together. When we did this formula here, SI is equal to PRT, all that told you was the interest on top. That told you the cherry on top. It didn't tell you the full thing. What does PV stand for? It's the principal. So it's the same as P in SI is equal to PRT. PV is the principal, what you invested in the first place. You missed a lot. Did you catch it up? What you missed last week?
Null factor.
Null factor, did you get that? Okay, that's a big one. All right. Okay. All right, what does the small I stand for? It stands for the interest rate as a decimal. So you just divide the percentage by 100 and you'll get your answer. So if it was 5%, divided by 100, 0.05 would be the interest rate. K, you need to think about it a little bit. K is the number of compounding periods in a year. So if the question said it was compounding yearly, how many years are there in 1 year? 1. Good. Okay, so you don't need to think about it. If it says yearly, K is going to be 1. But this one you need to think about it. If the question said it was compounding monthly, what would K be? 12. Good. So K would be 12 if the question said it was compounding monthly. How many quarters are there in a whole year? How many quarters are there in a whole? 4. Good. So if it said quarterly, 4, etc., N is the number of years. So today's practice, there's, I think it's like 7 questions. You've got the double. You've got plenty of time to do those questions. I just want you to get used to using this formula. I'm going to show you plenty of examples to demonstrate that. Lastly, please remember this formula tells you the final value that the investment grows to. If you want to know how much interest was earned, you need to take away what you started with from what it ended up with. I'm going to leave that up there for like a minute, and then we'll do 4 questions together so that then I can discuss with these guys. You guys doing the methods prep? Your test isn't going to be finished in time for the report. So your assessment will be based on the measurement, the booklet that you all did, and that first test. Yeah? Let's try the question. No, sorry. Let me see if I've got some. Yeah, you can go get some. Just get the example after or watch the video when I've uploaded it. Let's do the first one. Find the interest earned on a $100 investment. $100 probably important. 5%. Compounding yearly for 3 years. As soon as you see compounding in the question, you're using this formula. If you see it say simple interest or flat rate, you use SI equals PRT. That's what you practiced last week. So because it says compounding, you're using today's formula. So let's find out. Find the interest earned on a $100 investment. This formula doesn't find the interest. It tells you what it grows up to. So FV equals, how much did this person invest? What does the question say? $100. So PV is 100 times by bracket 1 plus, what would the interest rate be as a decimal?
0.05.
Good, 0.05 divided by K. K is the number of compounding periods per year. It says it's compounding yearly. So how many years are there in 1 year? There's 1, so it's over 1. And then we do K times by N as the power. You just decided K was 1. You times it. How many years was this for? 3. So the first step of using this formula is plug the numbers into the formula. Second step, clean it up. I'm not going to do anything with 100 out the outside. 0.0, anything divided by 1 is itself. So 0.05 divided by 1 is going to be 0.05. And if I add that to 1, it's going to be 1.05. See how the brackets is a bit cleaner now? And what's 1 times by 3? 3. That's cleaner now. Now I grab my calculator. I'll move it to the side. 1.05. If you're using an Apple calculator, the power button is this X with a small y on the top right. If you're using the Google calculator, it's a small a with a small b on the top. So to the power of 3, see how it made it small? 1.05 to the power of 3 is a number. Times that by 100, which is on the outside, that tells me $115.76, and I round that to 2 decimal points. That's half of your marks. Why is it half? Because the question asked, find the interest earned. That's not the interest earned. That's what my $100 grew up to. So what's the interest earned? What's the cherry on top that was earned on this investment? I put $100 in. The bank spat out $115.76. $15.76. Good. So therefore interest equals $15.76. Get that example down, please. I'll do a few more. Okay, second example. $8,800. I put in an account, 4.8%, compounding yearly. What's the contents of the account after 3 years? Find the interest earned on the investment. Same formula. A. Find the contents of the account after 3 years. So A is asking me what's going to be in the bank after 3 years. So that's just asking me to find FV. PV in the formula, how much was invested? How much did this person put in the account? $8,800 times by 1 in brackets plus, what's 4.8? Not you, because I know you know it. Someone else, because there's freaking other people in this room. What would 4.8% be as a decimal? 0.048. Last week, people were telling me 0.48%. If I could find a bank that paid me 48% interest, I would be there in a heartbeat. That's crazy. 0.048. 0.048 divided by 1 because it's compounding yearly. Yeah? And then to the power of, you decided K was 1 already. And it's times by 3. So what is that first step? All I did here was plug the numbers into the letters. Now I'm going to clean it up. I'm not going to clean up the 8800. I'm going to clean up the brackets. What's 0.048 divided by 1? Itself. And then add 1 to it. So it's going to be 1.048 to the power of 1 times by 3. What is 1 times by 3? 3. Now I grab the calculator. It's all right for you methods guys to listen in, but if you're doing methods, you're not going to do any money maths whatsoever. I'm telling you now, okay? If you want to learn about that money maths, come to my lunchtime tutorials. I'll show you. I'll show you out, yeah? 1.048 to the power of, to the power of 3 is a number times it by 8800. So that tells me $10,128. That's going to round to $129 to 2 decimal points. That's A. B. Find the interest earned on the investment. This is what it grew to. What did I start with? Good. So how would I find the interest? Interest is going to be what it grew up to minus the 8800 that it started with. 10129, take 8800. 1329. Bank pays you $1,329 interest in that situation. 4.8% is not an unrealistic interest rate right now. The banks are paying 5 or so. So, okay, this situation is probably more realistic for you guys. Some of you with savings accounts are probably earning 30 cents every month. Yes, because the numbers that you're playing with are small. But if you keep saving your money, this is what we're talking about. Okay? Money for nothing, unless you invest in some more monkey pictures or something, whatever. I only want to do this last one because I'm showing you a more advanced formula and I would like to be able to show you some realistic maths. This may be the only useful maths that you will experience in high school, okay? A lot of people go, I'm not using Pythagoras. Yeah, that's true. Why? Because someone in the government decided you need to learn about that. Someone in the government decided that it would be useful for methods kids to know what the hell that formula means that I'm pointing out the board. For the people on YouTube, I'm pointing the quadratic formula. If you do a normal job, you'll never have to see that ever again, okay? But this, money, if you're going to give me attitude and go, none of what you're teaching matters to me, well, that's kind of your fault, right? Not me. Let's do this. You're not really going to have to deal with monthly at year 10, but because I'm teaching you, I think I can handle it. Let's try. It's not any different. 12,000 is placed into an account, 3.6% per annum. It's compounding. What's different about it? Monthly. The previous 2 was yearly. Find the contents of the account after 5 years. Let's try. FV equals, what was invested here? 12,000. That's fine. A lot of people have trouble with that. That's fine. Bracket 1 plus, what's the interest rate going to be? What's 3.6% as a decimal? You can say now. I skipped you. 0.036. Good. Over. It's compounding monthly. How many months are there in a year?
60. No, like that's the total.
Yeah, you're skipping. She's right. Good. But answer my particular question right now. 12. Good. To the power of, it's K, which you just decided was 12, and it's 5 years. So let's do the cleanup. FV equals 12,000 times by, you need your calculator's help here right now. I need to do the fraction, 0.036 divided by 12. Add 1 to it, so the brackets is going to be 1.003. And then, yeah, now you can shout that number, 12 by 5, 60. 1.003 to the power of 60 is a number times by 12,000. 14,362.74 to 2 decimal points. So if you found a bank that paid 3.6% per annum compounding monthly, 3.6 is low right now. 3.6 is what happening during COVID, but we're recovered from COVID. Interest rates are quite high now. So you make sure when you go home, you look at your actual bank interest rate and you make sure it's higher than this. Because if it's not, you're ripping yourself off. Question?
Wait, in the brackets it was the 2 from the last one.
That says that I rounded to 2 decimal points. So see this number, that's the answer. But in real life, when you go to the canteen, is that what she writes for the price of a pie? So we need to cut it to 2 decimal points. That's what 2DP stands for. Why did it change to a 4? Because I want to cut it off at the 3. But what number comes after the 3? See how there's a 7 there? So because that's 7, it's bigger than 5. It pushes it up to 0.74 instead, okay? That's B. Find the interest earned on the investment. Interest is what it grew to. It grew to $14,362.74 minus what I put in, $12,000. So that bank paid me $2,362.74.